Hey everybody, this is my Gap, and today we'll be discussing if it's worth it to get a Mogo account. So Mogo isn't a bank or a financial institution. It's more like a prepaid credit card service similar to Koho, GetStack, and WealthSimple, but not totally the same. Personally, I think they are better than Mogo, and I'll be explaining further on in the video why. And also, Mogo provides other financial services such as checking your Equifax credit score, getting a mortgage, Bitcoin purchasing and selling, acquiring loans and lines of credit, investment, credit, and personal finance tips, and credit ID fraud protection for your Equifax credit report. To open an account is free, and you don't necessarily have to use all their services mentioned when you have a Mogo account. So the pros: 1, you can apply to get access to a prepaid Visa credit card that also provides a 2% cashback in Bitcoin on all purchases, which is pretty darn high for cashback, especially comparing it to the average credit card and even some premium credit cards. So just for that, it may be worth it to get a Mogo prepaid Visa card. Personally, I think it's a gimmick due to all the hype Bitcoin is getting, but for those who have no credit and want access to a form of payment that gives decent rewards, then this isn't too bad. But remember, Bitcoin's very volatile, so 2% cash back in Bitcoin can be a lot or very little depending on the day. And further in the video, I'll explain why Mogo isn't the best place to store either your cash or Bitcoin. Anyway, since it's a Visa card, you also get Visa's zero liability protection, meaning you're not liable for any unauthorized transactions. You can also set up pre-authorized payments to pay recurring bills. It's also compatible with Apple, Google, and Samsung Pay. However, there are domestic ATM withdrawal fees of $1.50 and international ATM withdrawal fees of $3. And when withdrawing from ATMs, they also have fees themselves, which we should consider. The fees usually around $4 to $20. So I wouldn't bother withdrawing cash from an ATM with my Mogo card. I would just use it for purchases. There's also a 2.5% foreign exchange fee when using your Mogo card, so I wouldn't bother with foreign currency purchases. And after 365 days of no activity, you will be charged a $1.99 monthly fee until you use that card, such as depositing money or by creating a purchase. So just charge the card once a year and you should be good. You can fund your Mogo Visa card through e-transfer and compatible Visa debit cards. There are no fees when funding your account, but you cannot withdraw the funds out using e-transfer, wire transfer, or any other service other than ATM, and which you have to pay for. So basically, once you put money into your Mogo card, you can't withdraw it out. You can't use it like a checking account. No wire transfer, no bank drafts, no check deposits, no cash deposits, no e-transfers out of the account, and etc. Just purchases, ATM, and pre-authorized payments. However, the Mogo app does allow you to manage and track your spending. You get instant notifications on where and when you spent your money and how much cash back you earned and the remaining balance left on your card. You can also create goals to help keep track of your payments and to help with budgeting. Through its online platform, you can easily log or request a new card when your Mogo Visa card is lost or stolen. This card is especially good for those who have bad credit, since you can get access to a credit card-like service without needing a credit approval. It provides decently high 2% cashback in Bitcoin on all purchases, and the majority of its services are free. Please note, your Mogo prepaid credit card doesn't build your credit, nor does it report to your credit bureaus. So to build your credit, you should still have a credit card, and your Mogo Visa card should be supplementary to your bank account and to a real credit card. And it should not be used as your main bank account because it lacks a lot of features that real banks have, and it's not a bank. However, I think when it comes to prepaid credit cards, Koho actually does a way better job. You can check out my Koho review video over here or in the video description below. 2, Mogo offers free credit ID fraud protection, though it's not the best and only shows recent credit inquiries for Equifax and not TransUnion. However, you can create a creditkarma.ca account to monitor your TransUnion report, but since it's free and it does work, then why not? Most places charge around $5 to $20 a month for this service, but but I think the paid services are actually better than Mogo's free service. For example, First Report by RBC provides a better service, though it costs money, $12.99 to $19.99 a month. I would only recommend their services if you're a business owner or have a public social media account with a huge following. These niches are more prone to stolen identity, credit fraud, and leaked passwords and emails. 3. They provide a free credit score check. It allows you to check your Equifax credit score for free. However, it does not provide your credit report, so you can't see other information such as accounts on file, late payment remarks if any, collections on file, and etc. It's just your credit score. To see your credit report, I recommend just using Equifax and or TransUnion. They do provide free reports. Google is your friend. If not, check out my credit score 101 video, which shows you where to go directly to check your credit score for free and how to get a high credit score as quickly as possible. And you can also use creditkarma.ca to check your TransUnion credit report and score, and borrowwell.com to check your Equifax credit report and score too. They are not as accurate as your real Equifax and TransUnion report, but they are pretty close. 4. Mogo claims they'll make the world greener by reducing 1 pound of CO2 every time you make a $1 purchase using their prepaid credit card. I honestly have no clue if that's true or not. Let's just say it is. 5. It provides mortgages. Its mortgage rates are on the decent side. They're definitely lower than the top 5 big banks. However, I would say shop around and do some research because I've seen interest rates lower than 1.99%, which is the current rate that Mogo is offering. And again, you don't need to use this service when having a Mogo account. You can just simply use your Mogo account just to check your credit score or to exploit the 2% cashback in Bitcoin. 6. Through its money class section, Mogo provides a decent credit, spending, and investment advice. However, its information can be easily found elsewhere too. 7. Its customer support is pretty good. However, it's only through live chat and email. They're open from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They also have a help center where you can ask frequently asked questions to get an answer for quickly. Okay, the cons. 1, it's not CDIC insured, so whatever money you have deposited into your account, if Mogo goes bankrupt, then say bye-bye to that money. Honestly, I wouldn't keep more than $500 in a Mogo account. It just seems too risky, so just keep refilling it with $500. Don't let it max out to its maximum, which is $10,000. I think it's ridiculous to hold that much money in your Mogo card. 2, it provides loans and lines of credit, but the loans and lines of credit are not much better than simply doing a cash advance from your credit card. In my perspective, their loans are predatory, similar to brick and mortar payday loan services. The only difference is their interest rate is lower, but still pretty high. For example, payday loans have an interest rate of somewhere between 300 to 500%. That's already really ridiculous. Mogo Loans and Mogo lines of credit are at 47.42% as of right now, which is still pretty high, but thankfully less than payday loans. And your average credit card has an interest rate of 19.99%, with some having an interest rate of 8 to 13%. And that's already significantly lower than any Mogo loan or Mogo line of credit. And your average personal line of credit has an interest rate of 4% to 10%, and mortgages are currently at like 1%. So it's insane to me that we give multimillionaires 1% interest rates for building their equities, but poor people are stuck with interest rates of 47.42% to 500%. I don't think that's fair at all. Payday loans are popping everywhere in Toronto. In my perspective, they should be banned or at least very limited. And the government should be putting more funding into personal finance, which would in the long term increase Canada's GDP. Anyways, enough of my rant. Not only is Mogo's interest rates bad, they pre-select loan protection when you sign up for their loan with a nice smiley face so that you don't uncheck it. And I assure you, loan protection is hodgepodge garbage. It's also known as credit balance protection insurance, and many credit insurers sell it for their lines of credit or credit cards. In my perspective, you should never accept this. You're paying a lot for very little in return. It barely protects you and or insures you. Most credit issuers will sell you on this and try to get you to sign it, but they should never just offer it without your consent and or signature. And it seems like Mogo is kind of doing that by pre-selecting it for you, which is shady. And in Mogo's case, it only insures up to $4,000 if injured or unemployed, and up to $15,000 if you die or have a critical illness. And to even get those insured amounts under those conditions, there's so many conditions under that it's just not worth it. By the way, nowhere on Mogo does it show you the balance protection rate. I tried clicking learn more and also click here for the full terms and conditions, and nowhere in the full terms and conditions does it even mention the rate for the balance protection insurance. Maybe I missed it. However, I also stated to myself, I'm like, isn't that illegal? I had to contact their team through chat to get the amount, and the person told me it's 13 cents per $100, which is 13%. That's incredibly high. I honestly don't know if that's true. I didn't do the math, so I'm just gonna assume it is. So it costs you an additional 13% when borrowing money from Mogo if you have loan protection checked. And like I said, they pre-select it for you so that you don't even care to uncheck it. So you're now paying 60.70% in interest and fees when borrowing. And it doesn't state the fee for balance protection anywhere. And on the previous page, it stated that the balance protection will cover 100% of the principal loan amount, yet it states a maximum of $15,000 in the full terms and conditions. So I'm a bit confused since they offer loans apparently up to $35,000. So if they only insure $15,000, how will they cover the 100% of a $35,000 loan? I don't know. Maybe I just read it wrong. And again, when going through the loan sign-up process, they also pre-select this 14.99 service bundle, which is like a fast-track service, meaning you get access to your funds and or your loans quicker. However, I just don't like that it's pre-selected. That's a shady tactic. So they offer two different types of loans, one being Mogo Mini and the other being Mogo Liquid. The difference seems to be more so the amount, and apparently they offer interest rates starting from 5.99% to 47.42%, but honestly, I haven't seen anyone get a loan for 5.99% from Mogo, and when I went through their process, I only got approved for a loan for 47.42%, which isn't good. And my credit score and credit report is pretty good, so I don't understand what it takes to get that lower interest rate. Its interest rate is higher than all my credit cards and lines of credit, so it's not really worth it for me. Anyways, the reason why it's predatory is because it's pretty easy to get approved. It's sold as being a cheap loan and that no credit check is required, only a soft inquiry, but it doesn't let you know that its rate is actually higher than most credit cards and personal lines of credit. Along with pre-selecting balance protection insurance, which will increase your total payment by 13%, and fast tracking services, which is an additional 14.99 charge, which you probably don't need, though I have to give it to them because it does take less than 3 minutes to get a Mogo loan, but that doesn't mean you should get that loan. 3, it allows you to buy Bitcoin, and honestly, it allows you to buy it very easily without all the know-how and tech involved when purchasing Bitcoin. But I personally don't trust any little guy with my Bitcoin. There are too many Bitcoin exchanges or cryptocurrency companies that have been hacked, information leaked, cold storage is broken into, and CEOs pretending to die or they are dead. Who knows? I'm not sure if this will be the case for Mogo. Mogo isn't really a cryptocurrency company, but since it's involved, I will say it kind of is. Anyways, their Bitcoin exchange is free to fund and free to withdraw your cash. You can use wire transfer and e-transfer to fund your account. They charge a 1% spread or fee when buying and or selling Bitcoin. They also don't allow you to withdraw your Bitcoin, so the moment you purchase Bitcoin through Mogo, it's stuck in your Mogo account until you sell it for Canadian dollars and then withdraw that money. So you can't transfer your Bitcoin to another exchange or your private wallet or purchase anything with it. You don't actually own the Bitcoin, you own a contract to the Bitcoin. Yeah, I know, weird. Unless you're investing less than $1,000, I wouldn't recommend it. And honestly, even with $1,000 or less, and let's say you're holding for 10 years, that $1,000 could be worth a lot more. And what happens if Mogo goes bankrupt or is no longer active in those 10 years? You just lost your investment. I personally recommend learning about the blockchain and learning how to keep your Bitcoin safe rather than depend on small companies to do it. By the way, I will explain why Mogo is a small company, even though it has millions of dollars on hand. So if you want to get your toes wet, then you can give Mogo a try in terms of their Bitcoin services. But if you're serious, then take the serious route. 4. Annoying email promotions that are borderline spammy and scammy. Most of their email promotions are to get people enticed into purchasing Bitcoin without really understanding what the heck it is. And when customers purchase Bitcoin, their investment will be stuck in Mogo, thus increasing Mogo's overall assets and value, which is amazing for Mogo's stock ticker, but not really for you. And the most you get out of this is the appreciation of Bitcoin. That is if Bitcoin keeps going up and hopefully Mogo doesn't go haywire, so then you can cash out 10 years later. There are disclaimers in their emails, but let's be real, banks or bank-like facilities shouldn't be sending out mass emails to average Joes regarding investing into volatile markets, assets, or individual stocks. If people are going into Mogo to get a 47% APR payday loan, I don't think they should be enticed at the same time to invest into super volatile assets such as Bitcoin. They clearly don't have the money or the financial knowledge to do so if they need a payday-like loan. As you can see, Mogo has a lot more cons than pros if you just stick with their free credit ID fraud protection, free Equifax credit score check, 2% cashback in Bitcoin on all purchases, and keep less than $500 in the account or whatever you're willing to risk, and their mortgages, then that's okay. If you need a loan, then I recommend just getting a PLOC or a personal line of credit from Tangerine or Simply, because they will offer a way better rate, somewhere between 8% or less, or at a bank that you currently bank at. Anything is better than Mogo or a payday loan. And make sure to decline any form of credit or balance protection insurance on your lines of credit or credit cards. They're simply just not worth it. And 5, is Mogo safe? In my perspective, it should be safe. However, I have a hard time believing any company right now involved in Bitcoin, other than possibly Coinbase, being 99.9999999% safe. Mogo isn't CDIC insured, Bitcoin isn't CDIC insured at all, and if their offsite locations get hacked, then what happens? I don't know. I only have $20 in my account, so if anything happens, whatever. But for those who have more money, that can be a real concern. 6, not only that, Mogo as a company has been blowing money each quarter. They're not profitable and they were almost out of cash and then got another source of funds. They currently have $95 million on hand, so they will survive, but blow around $2 million to $6 million a quarter with a whopping profit margin of negative 35%. They have been around since 2003, so yeah, it's still not profitable, really risky in my perspective, yet their stock ticker's super inflated. And just to compare to RBC, it has $147 billion on hand. It makes $4 billion each quarter with a profit margin of 30%. I would trust RBC with my Bitcoin, not Mogo. Do you really want to be storing your money, especially Bitcoin, into a non-profitable, non-insured, little guy, not bank? I don't think so. It also doesn't make it better with their shady loan offerings, shady application processes, and shady email promotions. So if you're interested in Mogo, whether they're prepaid credit card services, mortgages, 2% cashback in Bitcoin on all purchases, or credit score check services, then why not sign up? And also get free $10 when you do with this referral code, JSQNSXYE, or click in the link in the description below. Just be cautious of all the shady tactics and you should be fine. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of Mogo? Is it awesome? Is it not a scam? Do you exploit its free services? Let's be real, 2% cashback in Bitcoin on all purchases is pretty darn good. So just for that, it might be worth it. And apparently in the future, they will also allow individuals to purchase Ethereum. So that's cool. But again, I would say learn how to store your cryptocurrencies yourself. Anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification. This is Mike Gap signing out. Until next time, peace.